All right, this is the women's 100-meter backstroke at the 2025 Toronto Grand Prix. We are looking at Heat 1, Lane 3. This is Angelica Bath. We're going to watch the 100 meters, and then we're going to do an analysis quickly of it. Nice swim. Let's come back to the start. Right back. Taking a look at our initial set position. I would technically like to see a bit more of an extension on the leg here. So this is a pretty collapsed stance. If we can get a little bit more pressure in the legs so that we get a bit more of an extension, checking out lane 4 here, we want our legs to be in as close to pure push mode as possible. When we get our leg extended to a 90-degree angle and continue to extend it up to, call it 180s, a straight line, that's your push portion where your legs muscles, primarily your hamstrings and your quads. Your hamstrings are entirely relaxing, your quads are entirely contracting to get that full extension. From this point all the way up to 90 degrees, your hamstrings are going to be going from tension to relaxation before they can completely let go and let the quads take over. So until that point, your body is essentially, fighting itself is a very dramatic way to say that. But it's not effective, not as effective. So getting a bit more of an extension on those legs might be something where you can utilize a bit more of your power. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more height. Great arch. You can see that we never really get out of the water, so you're dragging an anchor through the water here. Getting that extra height is going to let that arc take over. If I had a pool noodle back in here, I'd ideally like for you to skip over it, bounce over it. We can see that the woman in lane 4 has accelerated fast enough, high enough, that she is able to avoid contact with the water for as long as possible. The water is thicker than air, and we would like to ideally encounter as little resistance in the entirety of our swim as possible. Well, she's got a few extra feet of a lower resistance environment than you do, just because of this. So working on height, but maintaining that nice arch and getting a good entry, you're going to see that help you. Good underwater. I like the amplitude. A little bit of a hiccup coming out of the water there. Unfortunately, this gentleman's a little bit in the way. Honestly, ignore me. I think that's pretty nice. Maybe we could have taken that stroke a little bit earlier so you weren't surfacing and then getting the stroke really together. Maybe more ideally a synchronized stroke as you are breaking out. Great turnover though. Little bit of that hiccup coming into the wall there. You've got every opportunity to make sure that your oxygen system is working the way that you need it to. We don't want to be in a situation where this delay, look at how you've come to you've arrested forward motion so that you can come over, get that last little bit of air, and then flip. Very tight to the wall. Even check out the other ladies coming in on their approach. She's coming over and around in lane 4. You're allowed to get that last stroke in almost on your front. You're doing that all in such a small, tiny space. She's using up the meters that the rules allow her to. There's a concept where we want to push the line. So long as something is legal, we go right up to that edge. Nice underwater coming off that wall. But in part, I think she's better underwaters than you. I think we saw that in the first 50, but she definitely didn't waste any time inside of the 5 meters like you did. So I think a significant chunk of this distance between you and her is exclusively, and this is the nice part, this is an opportunity for you. It's exclusively your fault, which is great, right? If it's your fault, you have the opportunity to make a change. You have the opportunity to take this analysis, take this note, play around with it. You don't have to listen to me completely or anything like that, but if you can improve that wall, that turn, this distance is going to close, and she'll be swimming the same speed doing her thing, you'll be swimming the same speed doing your thing, and yet you'll be faster, you'll be closer to her, more in competition. We love that. We love obvious, nice, easy, low-hanging fruit. A little bit of a slowdown by the looks of it coming in, but I love this fight. You're taking her over. She might be catching you, and you can see that, you guys got about the same cadence, so maybe there's a bit of a weakening, a bit of a loss of hold going on. That finish there, you could easily take off a bit of time, making this your last stroke. Look at how close you are to the wall here. You are only a couple of, no, I don't even think a couple of feet would be appropriate to say. You might be a foot away from the wall. Backstroke is a lot faster than breaststroke. It's nearly as fast as butterfly is. It's a fast stroke. You're traveling fast. Streamline position is highly efficient. If you can enter into a near streamline, even a single arm streamline, and glide, so long as you're traveling at high velocity, it's better than taking this tiny, you don't even get a full stroke in, right? You certainly don't get to touch the wall at full extension. If you had touched the wall here, just by holding that hand up, instead of letting it move away from the wall, you'd be done the swim now. And instead, shooting at 24 or 30 frames a second, I think is what I was shooting this on. How many frames do we have? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12 frames. That's maybe half a second, maybe a bit less than half a second, something like 0.36 to 0.44. Another obvious, easy, low-hanging fruit to fix. Your swim is really, really nice, but I think that the wall, the starts, the turn, and the finish is where you're going to see a lot of improvement if you focus on those. Very nicely done.